G'day guys, my name's Nick and this is my channel Low Range Nick, where I do videos about four-wheel driving, accessory fitting and maintenance for your four-wheel drive vehicle. So in today's video I'm going to go over the Isuzu MU-X and the D-Max common issues and common problems. And I want to make this video a little bit of a talking point as well, so if you do have any issues with your vehicle, just drop it down in the comments. Put down the issue you're having and sort of your experience and how it was rectified, and that'll help everybody out as well. Now the Isuzu MU-X and the D-Max are one of the most reliable vehicles on the market, and they do actually have very minimal issues. So in today's video, please don't let it scare you off, but I'm going to go over some of the common problems and issues that they do have. Okay guys, so the first issue I'm going to talk to you guys about is the air conditioning belt squeaking. So this issue can sort of bring its head up around 50,000 Ks. You might start noticing it. Might start as a little squeak and progressively get worse. You'll usually notice it when the vehicle's cold or when the air conditioning is engaged. You'll hear a little bit of a squeak coming from the drive belts. So you can tension up the belt a little bit over time. Tension a little bit just by using the tensioner down here. So just loosen this nut, tighten up the bolt here, which will tension the belt even more, and nip that nut back up when you're done. And then you can sort of get a little bit longer out of it, but eventually that drive belt will more than likely need to be replaced. So you can see I've got a Dayco drive belt on there. So mine started getting pretty noisy around 70,000 Ks. So I chucked a new belt on and it's been great ever since. So this is a really quick thing to change. You know, it takes less than 10 minutes and it probably costs you 20 bucks for the belt. So it's a very easy thing to fix. Just getting rid of that factory belt and replacing it with an aftermarket or even a brand new factory belt will do the trick. Now the second issue I'm going to talk to you guys about is really annoying. So what happens is a squeal from the hub seals. So you might notice this driving down the road 60 to 80 Ks an hour, a sort of rotational squealing, squeaking noise, high-pitched sort of ringing noise almost sometimes. And what this is when dust and grime gets into the hub seals and they become dry and, you know, start making noise, so they start squealing. So the fix for this is basically lubricating the seal. So what we do is jump under the car here with me. On the back of the hub, this is the seal in here which squeals, in behind the CV little cover there. So what you want to do is spray some penetrant or lubricant in behind this seal, and it's good if you can spin the wheel to get it in there a bit further, or just drench it in that lubricant. And what that'll do is lubricate that seal in there, and that'll stop that really annoying ringing or high-pitched squealing noise that you might get. Alrighty guys, so the third issue I'm going to talk about today is turbo issues. So as some of you might know, if you followed my channel for a little bit, I have had a couple of turbos put on the vehicle. Now this is mainly because of the fact that when I started having turbo issues, there wasn't actually a modified or upgraded turbo available, so they refitted just the standard turbocharger which was having issues back to the vehicle, so they fitted a new standard turbo. So of course later down the track I started having turbo issues again, and this time the revised turbo was available, but apparently the revised turbo that was available was also not the complete fix for the vehicle, so there is a revision to the revision. So apparently the turbos available now are the fix for this turbo issue. So basically what you'll experience is like a loud siren noise from the turbochargers. You'll notice it sort of sounds like a police siren when you take off when the vehicle's cold, and if it starts getting really bad, it'll do it all the time. So you may even get turbo underboost or overboost codes coming up, engine lights coming up and limp mode and all that sort of thing if it gets really bad. So with this issue, you can take it to your nearest dealer. They've got all of the protocols in place to get that turbo replaced for you as quick as possible and sort the issue out and get you back on the road as soon as possible. So from everything I've heard, the dealerships have been great with this issue. They've been sorting it out without any dramas and without too many questions. So I think they've even extended the warranty on the turbochargers as well, which is awesome. So that's an easy fix. You know, the dealership will sort that out for you. It is a factory fault and they are rectifying it, so that's good. So I think the updated turbos have a little green dot on top. So you can see a little green dot on top of the wastegate actuator. Apparently the updated turbos have that green dot. Don't quote me on it, but I believe that is the defining factor on knowing if the factory turbo has actually been changed out for the updated model. Now, in saying that I've had turbo issues, I have heard of some people not having any issues at all, so it is pretty hit and miss. You may be lucky and not have any issues, or you potentially may need to get it replaced under warranty. Alright guys, so the next issue I'm going to talk about, number 4, is driveline vibrations. Now this is quite a common issue when people start modifying suspension, changing rims and tyres and stuff like that. So you do need to be a little bit careful about what sort of aftermarket accessories you are fitting to your vehicle, making sure they are high quality and that they will balance up properly, you know. So if you are fitting a lift kit and it's quite a big lift, you may need to space your tail shaft, you may need a diff drop. All things like that are things to take into account, which can potentially cause driveline vibrations. So choosing things like good quality tyres and good quality rims can really make the difference in enabling that tyre shop to, you know, properly balance up those rims and tyres perfectly and also get your wheel alignment correct. So what I would recommend in this case is just monitoring your vehicle, so knowing your vehicle. So when it's stock standard, before you modify it, did it have any vibrations there? And if it did, if it was minor, did the tyres and rims that you fitted to the vehicle, did that make it worse? So it's sort of just knowing your vehicle and, you know, monitoring as you fit accessories how it changes how the vehicle drives. So if you notice that maybe the tyres and rims you just fitted caused a driveline vibration, but before you didn't notice it, then it may be a good idea to refit the old factory tyres and rims, go for a road test and just see if it fixes the issue. So it is a little bit of a guessing game, and it can take a little bit of time to figure out issues like this because they are a little bit difficult to diagnose, but at the end of the day, if you take your time and sort of know your vehicle a little bit before you modify it, then hopefully you can resolve these issues before they get too bad, or even fit high quality accessories and hopefully not have an issue. So the first time I experienced driveline vibrations was sort of around 40,000 Ks after fitting some cheap muddies to the vehicle. So what I'd notice is around 100, 110 Ks an hour, I get a really bad shudder through the steering wheel and the seat, and it felt really disgusting to drive on the highway. So what I decided to do was get rid of those cheap tyres because I could see that they were all scalloped out, they were all worn heavily, and you know, they were worn really uneven. And I sort of knew in my head that it was the tyres causing this issue. So I changed the tyres out for a high quality set of all-terrains. So I've got the all-terrains on there now. And I can tell you it has completely changed how the car's driven. So it drives super nice now, it's super quiet, and there's no driveline vibrations at all from this vehicle. So it's just little things like that that you may need to change or upgrade to get rid of these driveline vibrations. And it's not just an Isuzu thing, it is with every single vehicle that you start to modify. Okay guys, so the next issue I'm going to talk about, I think it's number 5, is the body mounts cracking. So this is the front body mounts that have the issue. They sag and crack, which I'll show you in a minute. So some people believe that the front body mount sagging can actually cause the body to crack in a certain spot, which I will show you next. So come with me now and I'll show you guys the body mounts, how they crack and sort of crease. They're a little bit hard to see, but you can see up in here, the body mount. So you can see this is the body mount that I've had changed already. So this is a brand newie, so there's no cracks or marks in it. And now we'll come over to the other side, which is an original one, which I haven't had changed. And I think it is starting to crack already. So you should be able to see in there that little crack and that section where it's sagged down. So that is actually the body mount sagging and cracking. So Isuzu replaced my right hand front body mount without any dramas. At the time I didn't realise that the left hand front was actually cracked as well, but it has progressively got a little bit worse, so I may need to get that replaced at a later date. So issue number 6 I'm going to talk about is sort of in relation to those front body mounts. So some people believe that the front body mounts cracking and sagging can actually cause the cab to crack in a certain section. Now there have been quite a few cases that I've seen of this, mainly the older MU-X's and D-Max's that I've seen. But apparently there are even some of the new MU-X and D-Maxes that have this issue. So this is the section to keep an eye on. So it's down here, sort of near the VIN plate, or the Isuzu Motors plate here. It looks around here, I think it is somewhere, that it cracks through this panel here. So you'll notice small cracks starting, and it may even get worse and completely crack through and make a bit of a mess. So on both sides it can potentially crack. So same with this side. So I believe it's somewhere around here that it can start cracking through the trim, or the panel there, sorry, and it can actually cause a pretty big issue. So the fix to this issue is a pretty major repair from Isuzu. They pull your whole front of your car apart, they re-weld in a new part, and they basically have to re-weld in a completely new panel. So it's a pretty big job. It's not a very common issue, but it is definitely something to keep an eye on if you are buying a used MU-X or D-Max. So the next issue I'm going to talk about is with the factory head unit. So this is a LSU model. So this is the bigger head unit. I'm not sure if this issue affects the LSM with the smaller head unit. You guys can let me know down in the comments if you've had any issues like this. But the main issue I get is driving along for about half an hour or so, and the head unit will just completely crash and stop working. So what I've had happen is it crashes after about half an hour, black screen, sometimes a blue screen, then it restarts and it works all right for another half an hour to an hour, and then if we're going on a long trip it will potentially happen again and again over and over every sort of half an hour to an hour. Now I did have my head unit replaced under warranty, so the new head unit that they put in actually crashes more often than the old head unit. So the old head unit would crash sort of after an hour or so, sometimes longer, and sometimes it wouldn't even crash. But now this new head unit they put in, which is meant to potentially fix the issue, but it must still have the same issue, will crash after sort of half an hour to an hour. And it doesn't necessarily do it every time, so it's not every time you're driving the vehicle, but it can get annoying sometimes when you're on a road trip and it just shuts down, disconnects your phone, and then reboots. So the fix for this is, I guess, getting the head unit replaced under warranty or fitting an aftermarket head unit. So it's completely up to you what you do with this issue. I know there are some great aftermarket head units available for these vehicles. It's just up to you whether you want to fork out the cost or get it replaced under warranty. Now, it's definitely not an issue that's the be all end all, so it doesn't really matter, you know. It's just a little thing that you guys should know. So there you go, guys. That's my top 7 common issues and common problems to look out for with the Isuzu MU-X and the D-Max. So if you do have any other common issues or common problems with your vehicle, please drop it down in the comments and let me know how it was resolved, how you worked through the issue and diagnosed it. So it'll be a great talking space for everybody so we can learn a bit from each other and know what's going on with these vehicles. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more 4-wheel driving, accessory fitting and maintenance videos. Cheers, guys.